Is it possible to make six figures a month wholesaling real estate completely virtual nationwide using online lead generation, specifically Facebook ads? Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through one of my clients who just sent me this message, and I'll walk you through everything he's doing so you can have a clear grasp of what he's doing in order to accomplish this as a one-man show. So he doesn't have a big team or anything like that. So the majority of this is profit. You'll see also how much he spent on ads. And that way you can decide if in fact this is the model that you want to push and try to operate, because it is, I consider to be one of the most profitable models and the easiest way to get started with wholesaling today. And a bit of context, this is 1 month after starting his Facebook ads campaigns. Everything is done 100% virtual, and he's doing deals all across the country in towns that he has never even heard of until the lead has come in. By the way, if you're interested in getting our help in setting this up for you, this is what we did for our client here. We set up his ads and we jump started them. So then that way he had all the leads he needed in order to accomplish this particular revenue goal. Then just click the link in the description. So let's walk back, because that comment that he made was a follow-up comment based on some information that I asked him. So we are running his campaigns. We have a variety of different ways we help investors, everything from them setting them everything up on their own. We set things up and then they run it, or completely we set it up, we run it, and they focus on talking with the property owners. So I had asked him how were the quality of the leads that recently he had received. And he said that the quality of those leads have been great. And I'll show you what we're doing for him. 4 deals on the contract right now from the past 2 weeks, and he's looking to get 6 to 8 more under contract this month. Now, this is right now as we speak, August 3rd. So it's right at the beginning of the month. And I asked him if he had closed any of the deals he had pending. And so he said he had $102,500 in cash collected in the month of July. And he has another $43K locked up right now. And that doesn't even include some of the other contracts that he has. So he is on fire. And I said, man, that you are on a rocket ship. And the reason for that is just how he has not been doing this for any significant period of time. And he was doing cold calling before. So he had a team of cold callers. He was just getting a deal or two every single month. And it was very inconsistent. And we made fun of the fact that cold calling isn't even in his vocabulary. He is getting a contract every 10 leads. And this month, it might even be every 8 or 9 leads. He is definitely doing more novations than wholesale deals. But certainly, if you're not, if I assume that you are in the real estate niche, you know what wholesaling is. You may know of novations. Novations is just a way of structuring your deal so that you can put the property on the MLS and expose it to a bigger database of buyers. And that's especially something that is very important when you're dealing with properties in smaller areas, because there's not going to be that many investor buyers. And so you got to go into the MLS in order to find buyers for these particular deals. And novations is a way to do that. We teach our clients, we give all the resources for them to be able to do this. Now, he started at the end of May after firing his cold callers. This was, again, how much he has spent since the end of May until today. So that's about a month and a half. And really the bulk of that has been in July. That's where the bulk of the ad spend has been. He is great on the phone. So I want to make sure that you understand that we can get you the most amazing leads. And if you're not great on the phone, you're not good at building rapport, you're not going to close any deals. I can literally have a conversation with this client here, and he's telling me that the leads are amazing. He can't believe the opportunity and everything else. And I could immediately get on the phone with somebody else. And a minute later, that other person, identically running the same campaigns as he's doing, will tell me the opposite. Chico, these leads are not great. These leads are not motivated. These campaigns are not producing quality leads. What makes a difference? Many times, I can tell you, 99% of the time, it's not the quality of the leads that's the issue. It's the person that's handling those leads and opportunities. You got to speak great on the phone. You got to follow up properly. You let these leads sit, and you're not aggressive with getting them on the phone, then guess what? They're not going to pick up the phone. Why? Because somebody else is now giving them the opportunity to do business with them. So, that's the one thing that's a variable. Just keep in mind is that there's never one thing that makes a difference. It's always a combination of things that make the difference, that come together to then create success. He is doing wholesale and novations with a heavy emphasis on novations as a way to, when we're doing deals nationwide, we're going to get a lot of leads in these small little markets. And with these small markets, there's not going to be a lot of cash buyers. And so your only avenue for handling these is through the MLS, listing them on the MLS. And so novations is a strategy that allows you to take these properties and then be able to put them on the MLS. And many times you're able to make money from a deal that you would have never made money from, or double what you would have made on an assignment fee by simply utilizing this strategy. And, he prefers nationwide campaigns, which is interesting because I got a lot of people in our group, in our community, that they start to very quickly say, you know what, I don't like these leads. I want to go and do I want to do states. I want to do cities. Some of them say, hey, I want to really narrow down and just try to do deals in my neck of the woods. And many times it's the reason for that in their mind, they're thinking, well, I just need better leads, and so therefore by adjusting their geography, I'll get better leads. But then they inevitably have the same issue with a smaller geography because it's a misdiagnosis. The issue wasn't the leads. The issue is everything that they were doing with those leads. And so that's something to consider. A lot of times I say, people come to us with a lead generation problem. We fix a lead generation problem and they realize that they have a whole lot of other problems. They can't figure out how to analyze deals, can't talk to sellers well, can't dispo, and all these other problems get exposed only because they were so focused on lead generation. They didn't have time to even deal with these other problems because they never had leads. And all of a sudden now you have leads and all of a sudden you realize, oh crap, I need more work, which is good, positive and negative. At least you realize, oh, if I want to make money in this business, I got to get my crap together and I got to do better. Now, he's running both lead forms and landing page campaigns. However, we're slowly moving him to completely landing pages. It just happens to be that these lead form campaigns are performing well. I don't want to pause them until they die. Eventually they do, but right now they're doing well. This is a snapshot for the last 14 days, beginning on July 20th up until today, August 3rd. So these are all targeting nationwide, and they're targeting credit. Instead of selecting the housing category, we're selecting credit. These are AI videos and images. So these are videos and images created through the use of AI. The images are created using Canva's AI. The other one is through another video platform that we put in a AI script, and it auto creates the videos. That's what's doing really well. You can see the number of leads, 24, 16, 10, and 15. That's the total number of leads per campaign. One other thing to consider is what we'll continue to reach. This is the number. The reach is the number of individual users that were showing the ad on the platform, and this is the frequency upon which they were shown. So on average, if it's a 1.5, for example, that means that. No, let's look at it this way. If the reach was 2,000 and the frequency was 2, that means that those people were showing the ad twice. In this scenario, there's people that have been shown the ad twice and people that have only been shown the ad one time. Now here you can see the budgets. You can see that the budgets are $12, $12, $12, and $17. All those add up to $25, $27, $37, $44, $54. So his budget is around $55 per day. However, rather than putting it all into one campaign, we take that budget and we spread it out. And there's a particular reason we do that. Number one is that we have found that lower budgets perform better than higher budgets. That's number one. Number two is the portfolio method of running ads, as I've discussed in one of my other videos, is similar to a stock portfolio. Rather than banking on one campaign, we have a stacking of various campaigns. And we could have done, these just happen to be working. I don't want to touch them, but we could have done, say, one for credit, one for housing. We could have done different images and videos and really mixed up the campaigns in order and still have these budgets. But what we want to do is, campaigns will have their ups and downs. Some days they'll produce a lot of leads. Some days they won't produce a lot of leads. Over the course of a week, longer period of time, it's very consistent. But if you're dependent on only one campaign, then if that campaign doesn't produce any leads that day, then you don't have any leads. Whereas if you take your campaigns and then now you have 4 of them, then if one campaign doesn't produce leads, then you know that you have another 2 or 3 that will produce leads. And so that's generally why we do that. The other reason I prefer to do this approach is from a launching standpoint. If you have a budget of $50 per day and you launch that campaign, and let's say you got to give it a day or 2 in order to generate leads. But let's say after the second day, does it generate any leads? You spent $100, and then now what you got to do is you got to pause that campaign and start another one. And so you might have to do that a couple times. But now, because of that, you might be 4 days in and maybe only have a handful of leads. Whereas if you launch multiple campaigns simultaneously, 1 or 2, or it could be 3, will work out, will start producing leads. The other ones may not. And so then you just shut down the other ones that didn't produce any leads. You start up a few new ones. And so you just do that very quickly. And so then rather than waiting a week in order to run through campaigns in order to get lead flow, you're able to get lead flow within the first 24 to 48 hours as you're running your campaigns. And this is something that we've been implementing with all of our clients. I don't think anybody's doing this. And it's a great way, especially if you are brand new, looking to get started with Facebook ads. You don't have a whole lot of budget to spend. At the bare minimum, let's say that if you didn't want to spend, $54 per day, you could theoretically have a $12.50 campaign, another $12.50 campaign, and then you'll be spending $25 a day total, and you'll have, in the last 14 days, you'll have generated 25 leads. which again, look at the cost per lead: $9, $10, 17, 11. You're going to have some that are higher and lower, but on average, if I did the calculation, this will probably be about $12 per lead, which is amazing. The other thing to consider about this particular type of lead generation is that there's very little overhead and work required. If you're doing if you're when you're looking at these campaigns and once you have them up and running and they're performing, you go in every day, you look at them, and then or every other day, and then you'll make adjustments. You can extend how much time you have between looking at these if the budget is low. If your budget is high, $100 a day in one campaign, you're going to be looking at that every day. But if it's $12.50, you can look at that campaign. You can look at these campaigns or this ad account, once every couple of days. And then you're just going in and making adjustments, maybe changing the images. You might change the geography if you want. But overall, you might spend an hour an entire week managing this. Also, you don't have to manage downloading lists. You don't have to manage managing cold callers, skip tracing, and any of that other stuff. And most importantly, if you decided tomorrow that you wanted to get more leads, rather than pulling out a list, hiring another cold caller, or doing any of that, all you got to do is simply just change the budget. Actually, you could change the budget in the campaigns. Don't recommend it. You just typically take one of these campaigns, duplicate it, restart another one, and now all of a sudden now you're spending more money and getting more leads. So it's a great model to operate from. And again, the other thing is that the way this model is really dependent on nationwide wholesaling. So you got to be okay with doing deals all across the country, unless you are rehabbing and you really need deals in a particular geographic region. At the end, it doesn't make sense to do deals in any local area. You might be in a bad local area where there's a high inventory, homes are not moving that well, and so this also distributes your risk, because if you have 5 deals in your local market and your local market takes a crap, then guess what? All of your deals have taken a crap. But if you've got 5 to 10 deals, and they're in a variety of different markets all across the country, then the chances of everything going down the tubes is very low. If it does, then we're all in trouble. All right. But chances are you might have some turds here or there, but at the end, your risk is distributed. Hey, bottom line is that this client here took a leap of faith. He was doing cold calling, he was doing deals, and he took the jump. And you could do this on your own. Obviously, we can help you. So click the link in the description. But most importantly, why don't you check out another case study video that I have here. This is from a client who said, hey, I'm going to do deals in my local market. He tried, but in the end, he got his first deal nationwide in a market completely that was outside of his own. And now he's all in on nationwide. Check out that video there.